Last week, somebody called me out for not putting the sponsorship tag on a video, and funny enough, it wasn't a video that required it, either by YouTube's definition or my own. So then let's clear the air and chat about exactly what YouTube requires for that box to be checked, and as an extension, what I'm going to do about it. But first, we need to nail down exactly what a sponsorship is and the kinds of sponsorships you may see on this channel or others. The first up is most obvious. A company sponsors a video, meaning I am paid to create that video. This is a bit of a rarity on this channel right now. Not a ton of money getting thrown at me, but it can happen. Now, of course, these videos cannot be reviews. They are showcases, and they will hardly ever be impartial. Now, there are a bunch of ways you can do this while keeping your integrity intact, but we'll come around to that later. The second type of sponsorship, it's a little different. It's where a company gives me a product. Sometimes it's for a review, but there's no contract in place for a review. That said, that is the point of this channel, so obviously I'm going to review it. And the third type of sponsorship is placement. That would be like Pepsi asking me to drink their pop on stream or Rode asking me to use only their boom arm. It's a lot more rare on channels like this one, but it can happen. Which leads us to our first issue here. For there to be a sponsorship, I need to benefit financially. Without that exchange of money or goods, there's no sponsorship. And the example I would like to bring up is on that video, the viewer accused me of not claiming the sponsorship. It was on my video on the PodTrack P4, and it was sent to me by Zoom, but then it was sent back as it was a review unit only. And now the company gained positive exposure for that review. I received nothing, no monetary or material gain. And to be honest, that scenario has played out several different times with mixed results on the reviews. There have been a few companies that got zero positive exposure for their product and probably regretted sending me the review unit. Once again, zero for me, therefore not a sponsorship. And that was when I was told that I got the video out of it, and that's why I should consider it sponsored. Which is, how do I put this nicely? Oh yeah, it's dumb. You gotta remember, the videos that I create are consumed by this community that I built up and that I have spent the past 3 years cultivating. Any and all benefit that I gain from any video is not due to being lent a product. The benefit is all that work that I have put in prior to making that video. Now, if you can't understand that, imagine a completely brand new channel receiving the exact same product, and they make a video out of it. I can guarantee you there will be no benefit to that channel and probably very few views. So yeah, that specific statement was dumb. Which leads us to why I won't be listing these videos as sponsored. And it has nothing to do with pride or the unwillingness to admit my privilege. Instead, it has more to do with the messaging on those videos. You see, if a company approaches me to do a video for them, specifically a showcase video, the message in that video is going to be biased, which is why purchased videos can never be anything close to a review. But in those situations, the client gives you a list of things that need to be talked about or showcased, and at the same time, they don't let you talk about some of the drawbacks of the product. Now, I will be confined to discussing only things on their list, or perhaps other positives that I can come up with for the product. That is it. And those videos do have their place on YouTube. Generally, they should rely on entertainment rather than trusted facts. It is made plainly clear at the beginning of the video, and there should never be a question. But let's just say I'm clicking that sponsored content box for every video. Well, then there needs to be a question about what is paid content and what isn't. This little box lets the viewer know that my message has somehow been impacted by receiving goods or money. Personally, I think it's something that YouTube should give separation to, meaning there should be multiple boxes, one for paid and the other for other, like receive this USB microphone, but this review is my own. And that's what happens a lot of times. I don't really want another USB microphone, but I'm willing to actually tell you whether or not you should buy it. And that opinion is my own. An extra box like that would help separate content and protect the creator's message. And that's why I won't just be clicking that box every chance I take. I want you to know what the status is of each video that I release. So that brings us to this, and what I'm going to do about all this back and forth. Well, I'm committing to having in each video a quick explanation, either verbal or written up here, of where I got the gear, if I'm keeping it, as well as having the same info in the description. Honestly, I have forgotten to do this in video before, which is not okay, but I will be doing it regardless from here on out. On top of that, I will continue to make sure I keep the sponsored box ticked when needed, guaranteed. I also think I might be doing the same thing as Bandrew by listing every piece of gear on my website, as well as the information on whether or not I'm keeping it, and yes, the website's coming. All of it, though, comes down to trust at the end. Trust is one of the most integral parts of being a reviewer, but it can only be earned over time. I firmly believe that you should never trust anyone that asks you to do so. And with that in mind, there's really nothing I can do about your trust in me. I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing, and if it isn't my voice you can trust, well, you know what? There are several other great reviewers that you might like. But if you're cool with all of this, awesome. Then I guess I'll see you in the next video.